My beloved, there comes a moment in every life when the heart no longer knows what is right, when love, duty, and fear stand in the same line, and the soul trembles, asking, "What should I do?" This was Arjuna's moment. On the sacred field of Kurukshetra, the greatest warrior of his time dropped his bow. His hands shook. His voice faltered. Before him stood those he loved, his teachers, his elders, his friends. How could he raise his weapon against them? How could victory taste sweet if bought with their blood? He turned to me and said, "Krishna, my heart is confused. Tell me what is truly right. Be my guide. Be my teacher. I surrender to you." And that, my child, was the first act of wisdom. For the moment you surrender your pride and seek light, the divine begins to speak through you. Then I revealed the truth that transcends lifetimes. I said, "You speak of killing and being killed, but the wise do not grieve for the living or the dead. The body dies, but the soul, the Atma, is eternal. It is unborn, undying, and ever-present. Just as a person discards worn-out garments and puts on new ones, so the soul discards its old body and takes another. What you call death is but a change of dress. The body perishes, but the soul journeys on, pure, untouched, infinite. Why grieve, Arjuna, for that which cannot be destroyed? The sword cannot cut it. The fire cannot burn it. The water cannot wet it. The wind cannot dry it. The soul is eternal, beyond birth and beyond death. This understanding, my beloved, is the foundation of peace. When you know you are not the body, fear dissolves like mist before the morning sun. But Arjuna's turmoil was not only about life and death. It was about righteousness. He said, "Still, how can I fight my own family?" And I reminded him, to stand for Dharma is your sacred responsibility. Each soul is born with a purpose. To abandon that purpose out of confusion or fear is to abandon the very reason you came into this world. For a warrior, nothing is nobler than a righteous battle. To fight for truth, for justice, for what upholds harmony, that is not violence, it is virtue. If you perform your duty selflessly, you rise beyond good and evil. But if you shrink from it, your spirit withers in regret. Better to fall in duty than to live in avoidance. Because the soul that acts in Dharma never truly falls. Then I revealed to Arjuna the secret of inner freedom. Act, but do not be attached to the fruits of your actions. Your right is to action alone, never to its results. Do not act for reward, and do not refuse to act out of fear. Let every deed be an offering, a prayer performed in devotion. When you act without craving, your work purifies you. When you act for results, you weave chains that bind you. This is the science of work, karma yoga. When action flows from surrender, even the simplest task becomes sacred. When done in ego, even grand deeds become hollow. Be steadfast in yoga, Arjuna. Perform your duty, abandon attachment, and remain balanced in success and failure. That state of balance is called Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of the intellect anchored in truth. A steady mind turns poison into nectar, defeat into grace, and karma into liberation. Then Arjuna asked, "What does it look like, Krishna? How does a person live who has reached this wisdom?" And I said, "The one who lives in divine consciousness is free from desire, fear, and anger. He neither rejoices in pleasure nor grieves in pain. He is content within himself because he lives in me. When the senses withdraw from their restless chase and the mind becomes still, the light of the soul shines forth. Such a person is not disturbed by criticism or praise, gain or loss, victory or defeat. He moves through the world like a calm river, reflecting everything, yet clinging to nothing. Beware, my beloved, for the mind can be your greatest friend or your fiercest enemy. From desire comes attachment, from attachment, anger, from anger, delusion, from delusion, the fall of wisdom. When wisdom is lost, one forgets the self, and with that, all peace disappears. But when you master your mind through devotion and clarity, you rise above the waves of emotion and live in stillness. Understand this: the true battle is not fought outside, it is fought within. Every doubt, every fear, every attachment, these are your inner warriors. To conquer them is the highest victory. When the ego surrenders to the soul, when the self acts for the divine rather than the world, you taste freedom, even in the midst of action. This, O beloved, is the path I taught to Arjuna. Not the path of escape, but the path of enlightened action. To live in the world, but not be bound by it. To act with love, but not with expectation. To fulfill your duties, but rest your heart in me. So when life feels heavy, and you do not know what to do, remember Arjuna's moment. Fall to your knees if you must, but then lift your gaze toward me. Let every breath become an offering, every challenge a teacher, every act a step toward me. You are not the body that suffers. You are the soul that witnesses. You are not the noise of the battlefield. You are the silence behind it. When you remember this truth, fear fades, confusion clears, and your path becomes light itself. This is the wisdom of Chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, the awakening of the soul. The moment when knowledge becomes devotion, and the seeker becomes the witness. Breathe deeply, my beloved. The storm outside is only a reflection of the storm within. But beyond both lies peace, the peace that is me. I am within you, waiting patiently in every heartbeat, whispering through every silence. Act without fear, love without attachment, live in truth, and you will never fall. This is what Krishna says.